There's something magical about the mountains when they turn white. And we are here in Shimla to travel up north to test a car that has disrupted its segment with its pricing. The Triber gets a small yet efficient 1 liter petrol engine, and we are testing it in the mountains on the snow. This car has disrupted its segment, but can it take on such difficult terrains? Can the engine put out the power to tackle these beautiful wide ranges? And we are taking it out from Shimla upwards to see how far we can go with this 7-seater, the Renault Triber. Now the question is, why hills and snow? When the Triber came home, the first thing that we saw was the badge on the rear windscreen with a Triber and a campsite. So we thought, why not go for an adventure when the company claims it to be an adventure oriented car? But that's not all for adventure. We plan to take it to the last Indian village in the north, the last Indian dhaba, and the last place that we can visit on the Indian side. And we have the 7-seater for the drive. Will we reach? Will the Triber make it through the tough terrain with its small engine? Let's find out more about the journey and the car while we drive. So we are headed out towards Rampur, which is around 125 kilometers from Shimla via Narkanda. Just to recap, we started our journey a day before from Delhi and took a halt at Shimla due to the night curfew. Here's our journey till now. We have covered over 430 kilometers at an average of 17 kilometers to the liter, and we still have one mark on the fuel meter before we hit the reserve. Now we are in Kyoto and we are refueling. So we have filled up 28.53 liters and we'll see how good it is when we drive further. Till now, Triber has performed well. The best part is the suspension, which is not too comfort oriented nor too performance oriented. There were many bad patches and it tackled all the potholed roads with ease. There were no rattles at all, and the fuel efficiency from the 1 liter engine was quite good in the plains. We touched almost 19 kilometers to the liter on the highway. The overall efficiency came down to 17 once we entered the hills. So we just stopped for some Maggie and we have crossed around 8 kilometers from Matiana and भैया मतियाना चला गया
8 किलोमीटर पीछे।
तो अभी कहाँ पे हैं हम?
कंडियाली।
कंडियाली
कंडियाली
कंडियाली अच्छा। अभी यहाँ से नारकंडा कितना है?
9 किलोमीटर।
9 kilometers. So it's been a very pleasurable journey till now, and the best part of Triber is the suspension. It is way too comfortable on really bad roads, and here you can have a look. It's getting dirtier with the roads getting bad. The roads are now turning white as we take up the Narkanda Rampur road. So we have taken the Narkanda Rampur road, and the road is well maintained. It is a two-way lane and it gets snow on both the sides. There is no slippage or any sort of trouble on the road as there is no frozen ice on the road. It's a two-way lane and it is well metalled, which makes you achieve a decent average speed of 50 kilometers per hour. There aren't many places on the way towards Rampur, so we are not taking up any more stoppages. After an hour or so, we saw a board which we thought was interesting. So we thought of stopping over.
हाँ तो अभी वी आर ऑन आवर वे टू रामपुर, जो कि हर स्टेट में पाया जाता है, बट हियर वी हैव सतलुज व्यू। कृपया कुछ पल बिताएं। सतलुज व्यू, प्लीज स्टे फॉर अ वाइल। देखते हैं हम सतलुज दिख भी रही है नहीं दिख रही। अरे हाँ दिख रही है। Okay, तो हमने कुछ पल बिताए, अब हमें लगता है हमें वापस आगे चले जाना चाहिए। चलो चलते हैं, ओके बाय। और ये रही हमारी ट्राइबर, बहुत ही सुकून में चलती है और बड़ा मज़ा आता है इसको चलाने में। वो रही सतलुज।
So after 125 kilometers in 2 hours and 50 minutes, we reached Rampur from Shimla. Rampur is situated on the base of Satluj River. The journey up till now has been quite pleasant and comfortable thanks to the well-metalled roads, low traffic conditions and two-lane roads which helped us keep a good pace.
So we just reached Rampur, and after 100 kilometers, we have an average of 19.7 kilometers to the liter, which is not bad. But the one thing that we need to talk about is the gear shifts. In the plains, the gear shifts were smooth and you don't need to really downshift. But in the hills, you really need to work around the gear shifter, and only then can you actually achieve the momentum. This is not the case with the other cars that I have been driving in, in Shimla or the other hill stations. And I am mostly in the fourth gear. As soon as you take up, the fifth gear, the engine lugs, and you really need to, downshift to get into that momentum and the power delivery to come up to the wheels. I actually hope that the 1.0 liter turbocharged engine from the Magnite makes its way under the hood of Triber. Renault has done a good job by churning out maximum space from the sub 4 meter MUV. The features are basic, but the essentials have been provided. For example, infotainment system with Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, USB, voice recognition, navigation, 4 power windows, electrically adjustable ORVMs, ABS, 4 airbags, a cooled compartment, dual glove box, ample storage spaces, and even modular third row seats. But there are features which would be missed by many. For example, steering mounted controls, automatic AC, electrically retractable ORVMs, a center armrest, and glove box illumination.
The roads from Rampur towards Jakri is treacherous. It's in a very bad condition, full of potholes that makes you to slow down your pace.
So after Rampur, when you take the Sangla Chitkul road, the roads are narrower and the hills actually get drier with a very light brown shade, and the roads are really bad. There is almost no tar at multiple places, but thanks to the suspension of Triber, it is still very much comfortable. And I think the same suspension setup is used in the Duster, which is also known for its magic carpet-like suspension. So the suspension is one of the best parts of Triber. Engine really needs to be improved. There is a humming noise on the burst in second gear, but that actually disappears after the third gear. You need to give side to at multiple places to the other cars, as the roads are inconsistent and are very narrow. The average speed, which was around 30 kilometers per hour, now comes down to 11 kilometers per hour.
The next milestone that we achieved was going through this iconic Kinnor road. This is the starting point of Kinnor district, and the roads from this point are narrow and in a very bad state. This road leads up to the Karcham Dam on the Baspa River. Once you reach the Karcham Dam project, the roads are well maintained. There are no potholes at all, and you would love to drive on this 20-kilometer stretch. After crossing the Karcham Dam project, it was getting dark. The road up to Sangla was in a very bad state. The road was uneven. It had ice on both the sides and frozen black ice on the road, which made the car to slip. The road was narrow and only as wide as the Renault Triber. It is advisable not to drive at night on this stretch, as there would be no person or an establishment open to help you out if you are in any problem.
So we stayed at a beautiful property slightly away from the valley in Batseri village, and we preferred that place because it's slightly away and secluded, and due to corona we prefer a slightly offbeat location. The property is really beautiful, the rooms are well maintained, but there are certain disadvantages, like there is no intercom, there is no TV in the room, and the main aspect, there is no running water in the property, and you'll get only bucket waters for your use. But the backdrop of this particular property is really very beautiful, and it is just besides the river. The rooms are clean and well maintained. And now we are checking out from this property to head over to Chitkul in our 7-seater MUV, the Renault Triber. Let me show you around the property and the way out from the property to the parking, which is slightly away from the hotel.
So we are at the parking, and now I need to load up a lot of stuff, and thanks to Renault that it has so much of space and some modular third seat. And here I'll show you. So this is how we are with all the 3 seats up. So the third seat, I'll be removing them. And now these are up, and we have a lot much of space. This is after removing the seats. Now we have much of space. So we are all set for Chitkul, and all the bags are up in the boot now. So let's start.
Chitkul is around 24 kilometers from the main Sangla valley, and mind you, it may take up to 1.5 hours to reach. The duration may even increase up to 2 hours as the road is frozen and narrow. It is tricky to drive in such conditions as the car tends to slip on frozen roads. So we started using engine braking on lower gears and reduced the tire pressure by 2 psi to gain more traction. It took us around 1 hour and 30 minutes to cover these 24 kilometers from Batseri village. The roads are beautiful, the view of the valley and the river alongside makes you forget all your worries.
So we are finally in Chitkul, the last village of India, the last place that we can actually go towards as an Indian is Chitkul. And now I'll show you something, just wait and watch. This is what you need to read. Here we have Chitkul as India's last village at an altitude of 11,020 feet. And 1 second, show you one thing. And this is the last dhaba of India, the Hindustan ka last dhaba. We'll go here and have some food and then we'll head back. Let's have a look at the village. This is the Chitkul village and see the backdrop, like it's mesmerizing. I will now show you the Chitkul village. Just have a look. Corona, there are not many tourists right now. Here I'll show you more.
So we reached Chitkul, and as I showed you that we had a very nice journey. It was treacherous, it was not easy. The part from Rampur to towards Sangla was very difficult. The roads were small, they were single lane. We had to give multiple passes to the other vehicles. There was a loss of traction at multiple places, and as soon as the snow covered roads came up, we had to reduce the tire pressure by 2 psi. And after that, we actually started using the engine braking at lower speeds for better traction. We still think that the Triber needs a better engine, maybe the 1.0 liter turbocharged engine from Magnite, and which is also coming up in the Renault Triber, the new mini SUV that they are launching in the coming weeks. The 1.0 liter turbocharged engine will perform way better if the Triber is filled up with a lot of luggage, or we have all 7 seats occupied. There is a need for power, there is a lack of power from this 1.0 liter naturally aspirated engine. There are multiple features that are missing, but still can be called as a value for money 7-seater MUV. There is a lot of space. We can actually remove the third seats, and that gives a lot of boot space to us, and we actually carried a lot of stuff while coming up to Chitkul. So this is where we end our journey. Chitkul, the last village of India. We actually showed you that it is the last village of India, and there is the last dhaba on the northern side that we can visit. So please like the video and subscribe to our channel, and spread the word to follow Speedhounds by your family and friends. Thank you and goodbye.